Let's move on to Newcastle Arsenal, the big game of the weekend in the Premier League. Newcastle coming off a draw last week against Wolves weekend, and then obviously midweek, shocking loss to Dortmund at home in the Champions League, put them in a little bit of a bind there in a very difficult group. Arsenal smashed Sheffield United 5-0. Both teams injury issues. When you look at this matchup, Newcastle right now trying to get back into that top four. They're outside of it right now. Arsenal trying to keep pace with Spurs and City. What do you make of the matchup?
Well, it's an interesting one. There's been some doozies out there, right? I mean, there's a 4-4-9. I'm getting old. I'm bad with numbers, but there have been tremendous 2 attacking teams with 2 great managers who continue to prove, or I don't know, prove, but live by their principles. That's what I love about both of them. Mikel Arteta, it took him a while, but I think we remember him as a player. We knew where he's learned. I suppose I'm not going to just sit here and say it's all about Pep, but obviously when he came over to Arsenal, he wanted to keep the identity of Arsenal under Arsene Wenger and his own identity of attacking football, even though it's always risky for a young manager. Sometimes I have to imagine that even if you want to play good football, you say to yourself, I don't know, that's a big club. Let me stay here for a while. And he was, I don't know how far he was from being sacked, but for a while there, right? I mean, 2 8th place finishes, you could have doubts about him. And then Eddie Howe, even more respect in so many ways, because he showed that at a modest club in Bournemouth that how good a football he's played, came to Newcastle, hasn't changed, and he continues to build that on. So I think I hope it's going to be an open game in a way. Look, the one funny thing, and it was in the back of my head, and I couldn't get rid of that thought, because in a way there's always, we have found a way since Wenger left, or some of the lean Arsenal years, to always doubt Arsenal in some way. And mostly it was a character and the spine. And don't you get a feeling that that's all gone? And then it came out, well, what if Gabriel Jesus is not available, which he may not be again, right? I think he's not. And then what if Martinelli's not there? Well, what if Saka is not there? And somehow all these players have been out, some for longer, some for shorter, and Arsenal keep on ticking. And there are those tests in between. Manchester City, massive test, character, boom, won it, because they've never, Mikel Arteta has never beaten Manchester City. Well, he's done it. Then Chelsea was maybe even a bigger test than that, because they were horrible, absolutely horrible. It looked like Chelsea were going to, win it 3 or 4-0. And then they came back in that one. And obviously Chelsea contributed to that, but you have to give credit to Mikel Arteta and Arsenal as well. So I just think that Newcastle, obviously home, it's a big one. I still don't like, defensively, they've been very good. They just conceded first corner goal in the last game, because they were perfect in that. We all know set pieces are strong on both ends of the ball for them. I still don't like that back four without Botman. And now he's re-injured himself, which is big, because it's not going to be just that, but, maybe going forward, we'll see for how long as well. I think this is going to be one of those 2-2 games somewhere in there. It's hard for me to separate the two, because obviously going away to Newcastle is not an easy task. So I'm going to sit on the fence in a way, which, by the way, I don't think is going to hurt either team if it ended that way. So I'm going 2-2.
Okay, good. Real quick, what you said about the spine of Arsenal, I honestly think it was last year, the game against United. They were down in that match, and this is United not in the current construct, folks. United was looking better there. I think they just won the Carabao Cup. It looked like they were turning things around. They were down in that match, and I almost expected, and as an Arsenal fan, they're going to win this game. And those guys went out and won that game 3-2 in a critical match where they were still holding on to the lead in the Premier League. Since then, to your point, they've shown the grit, the toughness, the mental toughness too, to win these games. Whether it's City, when you don't play your best and you find a way to get a result over City. As you said, Chelsea, they were terrible. I felt like they stole something. Just walking away, the point was a complete robbery. It was a smash and grab job. Take it. That never happened. 18 months ago, that they're losing all three of those matches. So they have gone past that. They're past that. The issue now, I think, is health and going on the road in a very tough environment without your best players, and can you perform to win the game there? And if you look at the odds, Newcastle is the underdog, plus 185. So you bet 100 to win 185 on the home team. Arsenal, you bet 100 to win 150. They're plus 150. I think you're right. I think we're looking at a draw. but I think both teams may struggle to score. Arsenal is much better defensively away from home, at least they have been in the last 18 months or so. I think this is going to be a 1-1 match. I think you look at the numbers too, and the over-under of 2.5 goals. There's some juice to the under. I think this is going to be a tight game. Might come down to set pieces. Maybe not a ton of opportunities. I hope that's not the case. But with a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball, I think we're looking at a little bit different matchup than we may have thought before the season started.
Well, the midweek games now and the Cup as well. So I mean that I wish we had this conversation because as we speak, right? I mean today is our West Ham.
Arsenal plays the Hammers in about 2.5 hours here on ESPN Plus.
So there's going to be a rotation, but there's some key moments, right? I mean. Declan Rice is going back to his old club. I don't suspect that he's going to start, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope he doesn't. That's
no, but I do hope that he plays.
He's just been so good. I can't. If he gets hurt, I feel like I emotionally can't handle that.
That's what I mean. We have to wait and see because that massive game in the Premier League, in a way, takes precedence. But does it? All these competition, even look at the pressure. Even Mikel Arteta will look at it. You know what? I mean, we need to be winning trophies.
We need to win stuff.
Because you mentioned City the way it is, and I mean, I don't think we can sit here and say, you know what? Yeah, Arsenal are one of the favorites to win the Champions League. So the progress is there, but at the end of the season, if you Arsenal Mikel Arteta with all the good things, with a lot of the noise gone, because for me there was always noise. I've always had something smart or silly or outright stupid to say about Arsenal, or maybe I should say negative to kind of doubt them. A lot of the noise is gone. But at the end of the day, you want to be winning something. So you look at this cup and you say to yourself, well, why not? Can we possibly? But Declan Rice, I hope he puts him out there because I'd be shocked. Standing ovation because what he's done as a captain for West Ham over the years, outstanding. I mean, first trophy for West Ham in, I don't know, 50 some year, whatever it was. I mean, the amount of money they got for him as well. And now he's immediately contributing in an incredible way to Arsenal. I just hope that he goes out there, even if it's for a minute, for the Hammers, for their fans to appreciate him, which I'm sure is going to happen. I'd be shocked if he didn't get a standing ovation. I'd be actually quite disappointed if he didn't get a true standing ovation.
Well, find out today on ESPN Plus. They have that game as well. Some other Carabao Cup games. Their Classicer 1:30 Saturday on ESPN Plus as well, and a lot of action all weekend. Janusz, great to be with you here on ESPN FC Live. We'll see you next time, Friday, noon Eastern. We out. Cheers.